I know that Coca-Cola takes Africa and the opportunities and indeed the challenges very seriously. We have, as you know, in South Africa, a very big business. It's already, so our revenues are 17 billion, and it's which is insignificant in relation to Coca-Cola, but you know, about 500 million of that is in South Africa itself. There's another, I think, about 250 million in Sub-Saharan Africa and North Africa. So it's now becoming very significant in the context, and so Latin America is 1.5 billion, so it's now trending to about half of what we've so far had in Latin America. So it's becoming very important. There are big challenges. Obviously, in East Africa, we've developed a big business. In West Africa, it has been, frankly, a little bit more difficult for the obvious reasons. But it is becoming more and more important in the context of many of our clients. FMCG, telecommunications, financial services, these are all industries that have mushroomed. We believe that first mover advantage is a very significant advantage. So, for example, when Coca-Cola opened up in Myanmar a few weeks ago, we were there with them. We have 6 business lines already in Yangon and in the country. In fact, we worked very closely with Coca-Cola in the country on their initiatives there. So we think first mover, just like we did in China in 1989, 87 actually before, but we had our first WPP meeting in China. We now got $1.5 billion business and 16,000 people there. So I would say we view Africa in exactly the same light. And I would just make the point that, you know, if you look at the Chinese, you know, whilst we in the West have been focusing on let's say, Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, and those issues, the Chinese, in terms of their foreign policy development, have been focusing on Africa and Latin America, and have developed a very significant presence there, both politically and commercially. So I think Africa is, you know, obviously one of the very important areas that we're focused on. Our competition actually hasn't really been that aggressive. In South Africa, yes. But in Sub-Saharan Africa and North Africa, not as much as I would have anticipated. But, you know, I think it's fair to say the Americans, because of their domestic market, 330 million people, they have a big market. They tend not to be as expansive historically as our French competition, frankly, or indeed any other British competition or European competition. They tend to be a little bit more focused.
Yeah, we are the largest private employer on the continent of Africa. We have very significant businesses, as you know, in South Africa, in Nigeria, in Morocco, in Egypt, in many, many countries there. So we feel very, very bullish on its future. Everything is not always up. There's always a lot of ups and downs. The path to commercial victory, or however we want to describe it, is one that's not linear, but it represents a lot of challenges. But what we see is tremendous energy, tremendous positivity on the future, getting certain, you know, Africa, and that's why we did a campaign, Reasons to Believe in a Better World. And as I mentioned on the stage, that started in Latin America, but then the Africans saw that, and South Africa saw it, and said, you know, here are the positive things, because everybody all sees the negative sides of Africa, the poverty and the disease and the wars and everything. This was a chance to highlight the positive parts of it, and we thought that was uniquely good for our brand to do it, because of our brand and our feeling that our brand stands for positivity, optimism, and happiness. And that has proven to be a very popular campaign. So we're very bullish on Africa and what it can be for us, and it's a journey, and every country we manage in a different way based on where they stand. But they all need hydration. That's our view. We're the hydration company, so we're there to be there for them.
There's an interesting parallel, I think, to the last question. If you think about just what Joe said about the continent of opportunity, we were heavily involved, as Coca-Cola was, and Muhtar is chairman of the International Business Council, a post that I had before him, so we each got 2 years, which is the 112 or so CEOs at the World Economic Forum. But the forerunner to that was the campaign which presented Africa as the continent of opportunity. not the continent of war or disease or pestilence or famine,